of the law or something like that?
9 points of the law is the phrase, but in this case, it doesn't apply.
Why not? It can't be that simple. I don't care who he is. He can't come into my house and just take everything. He can't do it. You can't let him.
You've got to understand, I'm no longer in private practice.
I don't care. You have to help me.
To be perfectly frank, Raven, I don't think I can help in this situation.
Why not?
If he is who he says he is, and your husband was an imposter.
It's not true. My husband was Schuyler Whitney. This man is the imposter.
What in heaven's name are you saying?
It's the truth.
Now, wait a minute, Raven. What about your confession? Are you recanting that confession?
Yes, I am, because it was not true. I was forced into making that confession because I was under stress, because I wanted to get that paper from Spencer. But this is the real truth. I really don't know why this is necessary. I told you exactly what happened. I was tricked into making that confession.
Raven, relax.
Spencer Varney and his friends conned me into saying what I did exactly the way they conned me for weeks.
I didn't say you had to attend this meeting. It's purely voluntary. I'll call it off if you want to.
No. No, I want to get this over with. The sooner the better.
Yes. Yes. Ask them to come in, please.
Well, what do you think, Mrs. Whitney? I'm told I bear a striking resemblance to your late husband.
Mr. Whitney, Mr. Varney, thank you for coming. Won't you sit down, please?
Thank you.
Mr. Carr,
Yes, Mr. Varney.
would you explain to us the exact purpose of this meeting?
It's simple enough. We all know what the problem is, and we all know how complex the issue is we're dealing with. I thought it might be beneficial if we all got together and talked it over.
Beneficial for whom?
Mr. Whitney and I aren't opposed to any meeting, Mr. Carr. That's why we're here. But if you're thinking in terms of a compromise, the answer is no.
There is to be no compromise. The issues are all well known now.
That's easy for you to say. You're not the one being asked to give up everything.
You're not being asked to give up anything, my sweet. What you have does not belong to you.
Mr. Varney, what we must clear up first is the manner in which you obtained the so-called confession from Mrs. Whitney.
I know that Mrs. Whitney is claiming that the confession was obtained under duress. That may be true, but it doesn't alter the facts.
She told the truth. It doesn't matter why.
It's not as if I was a police officer obtaining illegal evidence. I acted as a private citizen.
I understand, but I'm afraid there's another complication.
Oh. And what's that?
I think Mrs. Whitney should tell you.
It was a lie.
What was a lie?
My confession was a lie. Not one word of it is true.
I was there, Raven, remember?
You made me do it, Spencer. You know you made me do it. And if I hadn't done it, I would have been blown up in that building along with
Mr.
Smiling
Carr,
Wilson.
you're not going to sit there and listen to this,
It's not the
are you?
truth. My husband was not the imposter. You are.
Here you are. Oh, thank you. Aren't you having anything? Nothing alcoholic. I think I'd fall right to sleep if I did. Oh, all right. I won't stay long.
Oh, please don't take that as a hint, Nancy. I'm very happy to finally have you here.
Why?
Because I could always talk to you. And because there are a couple of things I've been wanting to talk to you about. First, I think that you deserve to know the ending of the bandaged lover story. You did write the beginning of it in the paper.
Well, go on.
Oh, well, the bandages have come off, and you're not going to believe who Jim really was.
So you've heard about Raven's confession.
Do you already know?
Well, I know that she's admitted that the man named Jefferson Brown went to your father's clinic using Jim Dietrichson's name.
Well, I'm glad you know. I guess you can imagine how that makes me feel. Oh, it's all too much. I mean, what a terrible judge of character I was. Maybe I still am.
Oh, now, Valerie, wait a minute, please. You were very young at the time. It's normal to be romantic and impressionable.
But I was too romantic and too impressionable. That's what Kelly always said, anyway. He did. Yeah, he did. Which is the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. I need you to know that I feel really guilty about his leaving. I feel like it was my fault, and that I let him down.
Well, I know that he had hopes for the two of you, but it doesn't mean that you felt the same.
Yeah, but I allowed him to have those hopes. And I pretended that Jim wasn't important to me. And I guess I really did want to believe that.
So, what now?
Well, Kelly's out of my life. And Jim, I don't know.
It was a conspiracy, and you were the one who organized the whole thing just to get me to make that ridiculous confession.
I knew nothing about the scam until I followed Nora Fulton to the phony precinct house.
That is a lie.
Raven, from your own account of what happened, you never saw Mr. Varney until after you were released on bail.
Well, he was working behind the scenes.
But Mr. Varney's account matches that given to us by Jim Dietrich.
I am the victim around here, not them! Spencer, you know you tricked me. You know that that confession was a lie because I didn't even kill Jinx Avery.
I got it directly from Mr. Gentry. Signature was genuine.
Mr. Carr, you heard the tape.
Yes, Mr. Whitney, I heard the tape.
Did it sound phony to you?
That would be difficult to ascertain.
Well, was Mrs. Whitney prompted in any way? Did it sound as if Spencer was trying to give her the answers?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. Spencer told me everything I was supposed to say.
That's not true.
Mrs. Whitney, I understand that recently you've been through a rather harrowing experience in which you imagined that you might very well lose your freedom. You know that could still come to pass.
What are you talking about?
In exchange for a calm, orderly transfer of all property immediately to me, I would be willing to forgo any criminal charges against you. And considering the preponderance of evidence against you, I can imagine that it would be very likely that the next place you'll be, you might just be lucky to have a toothbrush to call your own.
You're nowhere near the man my husband was.
All right, that's enough. I want you both to stop these charges.
Mr. Carr, what is your opinion?
If I gave you an opinion, it would be strictly a personal one.
I'd like to hear it just the same.
The one fact that seems irrefutable to me is that Mrs. Whitney did not volunteer that confession. Judging from the testimony about the faked murder and the false incarceration, there's no question that whatever the truth of this matter, that confession was obtained under duress. In a court of law, it would be inadmissible.
Thank you, Mike. I'll talk to you soon.
Say, what's this all about, Chief? This is the first time you've actually invited me into your office for almost a month.
We'll find out soon enough. Sit down.
Are we waiting for somebody?
Yeah, but it's not Calvin.
Well, Calvin's in New York, isn't he?
No, he got in this evening. As a matter of fact, he's in the TCR right now doing some work, making up for lost time, I hope.
Hey, listen, is something wrong with him? He hasn't smiled once since he's been back.
I think Calvin has a domestic problem, Chief.
Well, I heard a rumor that his wife's going to have a baby. Is that true?
I think you'd better ask him yourself.
Because that's so unusual. The guy having his first kid, he's usually handing out cigars.
Well, maybe you thought you wouldn't approve. I mean, sometimes it seems like you want all your cops to be all business around here, right?
Excuse me. Yes, Ellen. No, of course, send him right in. Captain?
Chief?
You two, I'm sure, remember each other?
Sure, Captain Valducci. What is this about the investigation?
Yes, I thought you'd like to know about the results.
Sure, I'd like that very much.
There'll be a formal department memo, but Chief Mallory thought you'd appreciate hearing it from me firsthand.
Relax. If it was bad news, we would have waited for the memo.
First of all, let me make one point clear. Nobody, but nobody in internal affairs or on the civilian review board ever thought there was any real merit to that brutality charge.
I'm great. You'd never have known it from all those poker faces sitting around the table.
Well, intuition is one thing, but fact is another.
Yeah, the fact that Vincent Green worked for Eddie Lorimer, the fact that Eddie Lorimer had a grudge against you, and the fact that the key witness was Lorimer's secretary.
It smelled to high heaven right from the beginning, Tyler. But it was the alleged bride that got to us. That fur coat you presumably bought to buy off the witness?
I mean, the one Eddie Lorimer left in my apartment.
Well, we had a receipt with your name on it from a legitimate fur dealer.
Yeah, that was the sticky part, until we got that tip.
What tip?
We had an anonymous phone call. Somebody tipped us off that the so-called legitimate fur dealer was owned by a blind corporation. A corporation set up by, guess who?
Eddie Lorimer.
Of course, so you can be real glad that we got that tip from whoever she was.
She?
Grab that, will you? Only don't say I'm here, huh? I want to get home early for a change.
Okay, I've got it. Mr. Lorimer's office. I'm sorry, but Mr. Lorimer's gone home for the day.
But I wasn't calling your boss, Poppy. I was calling you.
That's a bad habit you're developing. Calling me at the office.
Now, don't worry. If Eddie had been there, I would have talked to him about nothing at all.
Isn't that what you two always talk about?
I have to see you, Poppy.
No, Mr. Endicott. How many times do I have to tell you, never call me here? Never. You really don't understand the word no, do you?
I've always felt a woman meant maybe when she said no, and yes when she said maybe.
Well, maybe the little bimbos you know are like that. I'm not.
Oh, you should be flattered. I'm so persistent.
I just think it's dumb for you to come over here.
I had no choice. I have a monumentally boring dinner tonight, complete with after-dinner tributes and windy speeches about art with a capital A. I simply had to see you before I went.
Well, take a look. Okay? Satisfied?
No.
You know, this is really crazy. I mean, right here in Eddie's own office. Do you know what he'd do if he knew?
It's what I want to do that counts at the moment.
I told him I'd have all this filing done. You do want me to keep his files in order, don't you?
Yes, my sweet, of course I do. I want you to keep Eddie's files in excellent order so that you can keep a close watch on them. And by the way, may I have some of these?
You're really making me nervous now.
Am I?
I think you'd better go to that dinner of yours.
Well, well, well. What a nice surprise. Mr. Endicott. Imagine finding you here.
Hello, Eddie. I dropped in to ask your lovely secretary a business question.
Oh, so that's what this little tete-a-tete is all about, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe it. Imagine that, a big shot like you, Mr. Endicott, coming down to my lowly little junkyard just to ask my cute little secretary about some business, huh?
Well, I see there's no hiding the truth from you, Eddie. Yes, it was Poppy I came to see. We met by chance one evening. I came by to ask her out for a drink with me.
Oh, I see. Well, look, I mean, I understand. That's perfectly all right. You know what? Why don't I do the filing and you two go ahead and have a drink? Have a
No,
good time.
Eddie, I don't have very much more to do.
It's okay, sweetheart. Go ahead. You two go. Have a good time. Don't worry. I have nothing else to do. I'll take care of
That's
it.
very decent of you, Eddie. Very decent indeed.
But, Eddie...
Come along, my dear. I know a delightfully cozy spot not far from here. Bye, Eddie.
Bye-bye. Have a nice time.
Thank you.
I smell a rat.
Better slow down. They might run out of that stuff.
Yeah. Or we run out of money to pay for it. You know how much this suit's sending back? Did you bring any money with you?
I have some. I think I better check at the bar and make sure they accept credit cards.
Libby, Libby, Libby.
Oh, that's a dangerous toy. Why don't you put it away?
Spencer told you to get rid of it, I'm told, but you decided to keep it, I see.
Why shouldn't I? It belongs to me.
Close the door. I said close the door.
Would you please tell me what this is all about?
Well, that's very simple. It's about murder.
Are you mad?
No, I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I'm not sad. I'm not concerned about life, and I'm not concerned about death. When you go through certain experiences, you end up with that reaction to things. I believe combat veterans must have something like it.
I see. This is a threat, is it? You think you can frighten me into giving you that tape?
The tape, yes, the tape. I hope you still do have the tape. You haven't destroyed it, have you?
You know how you can get it, Sky. Make me that promise.
How do you know that I would be telling you the truth?
I'd know, my darling.
That's what Spencer said, yes.
Give me that thing.
Don't try it. It won't work.
Do you think murder will? Then pull the trigger. Pull the trigger, Sky. Kill me. You think it'll mean that much to me? It won't. You see, I don't care that much about being alive.
You're lying, Libby. You want to live very much.
You're right. But not as much as you do, Sky. And if you kill me, your future won't be much either, will it? Prison life is never much fun, I hear.
Give me that tape.
No, darling. The tape is going with me tonight.
Where are you going?
Back to Switzerland. I'm taking the afternoon flight to Zurich. Unless, of course, you kill me. The choice is yours.
Give me that tape.
No.
All right.
You are mad!
No. I'm not mad. But you were right before. Prison life is unbearable. For women as well as men.
What are you talking about?
What do you think the police will think when they dig the bullet out from the couch and match it with the one that they dig from the body of Jeff Brown? Yes, operator. Get me the police, please. What do you think that the police will do then?
It's taken care of, Sky.
Oh, sorry. Did you happen to see a telephone around here?
There's one at the bar.
You still have that telephone credit card?
Yes. Why?
Let me have it. I need it. I'll make a long-distance call. A very long-distance call. Yeah.
Allô? Allô? Allô?
Allô, qui est à l'appareil?
C'est François?
Oui, c'est moi, oui.
François, c'est Bruno qui est là?
Écoutez, parlez un peu plus fort, je ne comprends pas un mot à ce que vous racontez. Oui, Bruno.
Bruno, oui. Oui, he's there, I don't believe it. Oui, c'est très important. Oui.
Vous êtes américain? Attendez une petite seconde.
A man called Bruno.
C'est peut-être vous. Je crois que ça vient d'Amérique. Merci. Yeah.
Bruno, is that you?
Who is this?
Let's just say a friend. I'm calling from the United States. Can you hear me, Bruno?
Double whiskey, s'il vous plaît. Yeah, I hear you. But I'm not going to listen to you if you keep calling me by that stinking name. My name is Gunther. Merci.